The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the 27th episode of Take That Depression, the Project CC arc podcast.
The movie.
The squeakquel. I'm Kyler, that's Spencer.
Hello.
Spencer, how was your week this week?
My week's been really good. Been doing a lot of brainstorming, getting really excited to talk about Project CC, and excited to get that ball rolling.
I think we just did about an hour and a half of talking off air when we definitely should have just pressed record.
And then edited everything out we needed to.
Yeah, exactly.
3 episodes there.
My week's been going really, really well. I took some time off. My wife and I did a bunch of spring cleaning. We dumped 3,000 pounds worth of garbage out of our basement, which is wild. That was a fun thing. Our basement is much cleaner now.
It's funny to call it spring cleaning when we're about to get dumped on in a huge snowstorm.
I am not excited, and luckily we get to record this instead of having to do another snow day one. I was talking to my wife earlier today, and I'm like, I don't want to call in that favor already. I want to save that for a really rainy day.
Look, I need this.
I don't want to record tonight. It's not going to be fun for us for probably the next 4 days-ish. We get to record tonight. Not snowing just yet, so happy there. I do have to make a big apology. I don't know if you know this. Big apology to all of our consistent listener, singular. During all the spring cleaning, my wife and I got super caught up, and I released last week's episode late. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. We got super caught up, and I was telling her, I'm like, I need to edit that episode tonight, and then I sat down on the couch, and after all the moving, I just passed out, and I woke up the next morning, I'm like, oh no. And then we had to, we got into, doing stuff for the kids, and it's still an action-packed day, so I got it up in the evening on Monday, I think, hopefully. But again, I do have to apologize. That was the first one that we missed, and it was my own silly hubris that got us. There was nothing big, nothing whatever. It was just me being a bad podcast guy.
27 episodes, though. That's consistency.
Yeah.
Never missing that. So.
Yeah. And again, we didn't miss it. I just didn't edit it and put it up, but we had it. I was just, and I could have edited it beforehand, and I was that's on me. I will do everything in my power to not let it happen again. After we get done recording this episode, I'm going to go right to the editing bay, edit it up, and get it scheduled so I don't do that again.
I'm glad you're the editor, because I couldn't say that. I would say I'm sorry, and it will definitely happen again.
Other than that, great week. Again, a lot of spring cleaning. We're doing all that in preparation for hopefully a big move this year, so we'll see how all that pans out. We'll keep you posted here. But all of that doesn't matter, because that's not what you're here for.
Give me the bits.
Yeah, you're definitely here, hopefully, for Project CC, and last week we left off with letting you know that we were going to bring you a Type 5, a back of the book little snippet of exactly what Project CC is. And Spencer really showed up this week and wrote a really, really cool passage, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully I didn't hype that up too much.
The only drawback is I don't have a cool narrator voice, so you'll have to insert your own cool narrator voice for that.
AI Morgan Freeman, go. But yeah, here we go.
In a world where adventuring has become part of everyday life and dungeon crawling is a world-leading occupation and industry, someone has to clean up the bodies. So much so that there is a special branch in the military that cleans up the dungeons. That's the CRU, Corpse Retrieval Unit. The CRU was formed to clear out the bodies of adventurers that couldn't hack it in the dungeon. These include pulling out bodies out of traps, picking up pieces from monster attacks, and dealing with the aftermath of bandits and looters. Or sometimes the less glorious rookie who got lost and starved to death. Not everybody can be a hero. While clearing out the bodies and bringing them to the top side, their secondary duties are to try to identify the bodies and seize all the items and treasures from the bodies and bring them back topside.
Awesome. Chills again. I love this project. It's such a great back of the book. This is still very much early on, so much of that is subject to change, but the core of it is the project that we're shooting for. And yeah, something that we have put a lot of time into, and we're really excited to start sharing.
I'm excited that we're both excited about it. I think we both have ideas, and I think a lot of them are on the similar ideas, and I feel like we'll be able to bounce them off of each other.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of stuff that'll be able to stick.
Yeah. The only bad bit about kind of doing this sort of thing is, like, again, we talked for an hour and a half before we started the podcast. And probably about 15 minutes of that would be usable if we, like, edited out all the stuff that, like, I'm not really ready to share yet. Yeah. You're not ready to share yet. All the things that would kind of be story spoilers.
That's again, like you just said, that's for me too. Also, the hard part is, like, I have all these ideas and, like, they come up, like, end of the story type stuff, like, before the beginning even starts. It's like, that's cool, but we can't say any of that because spoilers.
Yeah. What if the final boss was Shadow Sora from Kingdom Hearts? Just, like, random fun things that we think of, and then it's like, but that we can't. That would be a major story spoiler. There'd be no reason for you to pay attention or read the rest of the thing. It's like, it's Shadow Sora from Kingdom Hearts. It's been Shadow Sora the whole time.
They told me the ending. I wonder how it starts.
But yeah, so it's kind of hard, and the questions that we're kind of asking ourselves here are the safer questions. We hope to get into some of the definitely, like, the more story intensive things coming up, but we will still be very intentional with how we answer questions, the words we use.
I think it's, in my head, my mind goblin, I picture it more like we give you guys the world building, the world, and then we keep the story under wraps. You can take your speculations and guesses from there, and hopefully you won't guess any of it.
Yeah, but for sure, as inevitably always happens, with enough eyes on something, it gets guessed anyways. But yeah,
the one positive of us being so small time.
You guys will never guess it because there's only one of you. And it's me. I very stoked about this idea. Very fun idea. Like Spencer and I have said last week, this week, we have spent so much time just riffing on different ideas. Bad guys, good guys, sources of power, things like that. And it's a fun project. A fun exercise for your mind goblin.
Yeah.
To see kind of, there's obviously very simple paths. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. That's just math. But if you take a roundabout way to get to C, I think those are the harder things to figure out. But when you really get to riffing, and when you really get to riffing with a like-minded person, there's not much that, like, rivals that as far as, like, good feelings go, when you're just like, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it's really cool and interesting to, like, we riffed, like he said, we riffed for probably an hour before this and like different ideas, but it's really cool to finally say the idea and then we're like, is that it? Is that on the table?
Yeah.
And then we're like, that's it. To be able to write down the idea and say, this is what we're working with. This is where we're building. That's so satisfying because there's a million possibilities and a million alternate realities to that. And when you get that one thing finally written down on the table in the little spider web bubble, it feels real good to be like, cool, now we have some building blocks to play around with.
Yep. And to riff off that also, it's really cool to have this idea that you think is really cool, and then you tell your partner in crime, and then they take it and they shift one building block 45 degrees, and now it's so much cooler of an idea than you had, but now it's an idea that we had together.
Yeah.
When it's like, yeah, but what if this? And it's like, oh, yes, that.
I love that!
Yeah, that's very fun. But enough of us riffing about us riffing. We have another couple questions from the list last week of just kind of very surface level things that we wanted to get to. And then we're going to let you guys get back to your nights, days, mornings, weeks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. First question that we had left over was, what are the celestial bodies like for this planet? Do we want multiple suns, multiple moons? Do we want other planetary bodies close by so they're visible in the sky or anything like that? That's kind of the question that we're asking.
I'm a real sucker for that. I like the idea. I've played games, watched shows, other things, content, where like you'll just be in the world and you look up in the sky and they have like 4 moons or 4 planets that are like as close as the moon. I think that's really cool. What is not cool is trying to figure out in my head the science behind. That's a cool that you have Jupiter like 2 miles away from the Earth. How does that affect the water and gravity and the science behind it?
Yeah, we would need to get
I love the
Neil
fantasy,
deGrasse
not
Tyson.
the science. Yeah.
When they get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the podcast, he'll help us out.
Let me just shoot him a text.
Yeah. Hit us up. If you're listening to this, hit us up. We'd love to have you on. I am also a huge fan of that. And luckily with fantasy, there leaves some room for, like, fantasy jargon.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I don't love playing that card. The Adventure Time, there's 4 old wizards that are keeping this meteor that's about to strike the Earth at bay. So then Finn and Jake fall into the pyramid scheme of learning all the magic spells. And then Jake helps the mages. One can retire, and then not Jake, Finn replaces one of the mages, and then he's like, this sucks, and then whatever, but like that kind of thing.
I have a video on my save that is over, I think, 2 hours of Adventure Time lore.
Yeah.
And that is crazy to me that there was so much lore put into this kid's show. It is crazy.
Yeah, Adventure Time is so good. But yeah, like that kind of, like, I don't love playing that card when it's just like magic wizards are doing magic wizard things, so now this thing that is probably a really big story bit is just nothing.
That's my biggest downfall in storytelling is, yeah, but why? It's like,
Yeah, but why? Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Again, like, double sun is an interesting thing, because then is it like opposite sides of the planet, so it's like never nighttime. Double, triple, quadruple moons is always, especially if you can kind of get them in, like, see them all in the night sky at once. But yeah, definitely the thing that stands out is having a planetary backdrop to your night sky, or foredrop, whatever you want to call it. What a cool visual thing. Is it worth trying to explain in lore what this is and does to the planet? Is it worth probably the hour's worth of Googling to figure out what that means for tides and things like that. I don't know. I don't know that I would want to put in the extra work. And it might not be that bad at all. You get to Googling, you get 30 minutes in, and you find out all the answers, and you figure out it's whatever.
Planet's just far enough away that it doesn't affect anything, but it's close enough that you can see it with the human eye.
Yeah. Yeah, because even like whatever Venus for us or Mercury for us, like it's like that one, the little red star is Mercury. It's like cool, whatever. But if you brought that like half the distance to us, it still probably wouldn't be affecting us, but it would be much larger.
Now you look up in the sky and it's the size of like a $50.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very apparent. Yeah, that's for sure another... an option is, keep it far enough away, but still keep it big. But yeah, I think that's... Double sun would be fair. I think if we were going to do anything, correct me if I'm wrong, it might be a multi-moon type situation. Yeah. I don't hate that idea. And it might just be 1 and 1. Keep it simple. No,
I'm not opposed to keeping it simple. Yeah. I feel like if it's added, it's more for aesthetics than anything.
Yeah, and that like maybe if there's some kind of story beat, like you trap an Eldrazi horror in one of the moons, like Magic does, maybe. But if there's no reason for a second moon other than second moon looks cool, don't really need a second moon.
Keep it simple too, is what they know. They think it's just a god. They think it's just whatever. They don't, the little science peasants that don't know anything. Really, it's this, but they're just like, I don't know, it's always been there. We've never been to space.
You got demons in your blood, so now we need to suck it out of you.
Which I feel like is a good creative like cop out too. It's just like why is there a second moon? Demons or something. That's a good question.
The devil's in it. Then on to the next question, our final question. And then we'll get you out of here. The economy of the world, at least the specific city that we're going to be focusing on. Is it currency based or barter based? Is that like, do they have dollars and cents and they buy stuff with this thing that we assign value to? Or is it, I will give you 2 sheeps for you reshingling my roof?
Capitalism, baby. I'm always been in that kind of thing with those lines of work. I've always pictured, like, again, capitalism, money, like, you're not going to go risk your life for, like, a trade or something. It's got to be something like a better life.
And that, like, it could be so kind of dystopian that your only option is to either work for a mercenary company or you starve to death. In that could make it the barter if we wanted to do that. I'm also one that like currency makes it simple because then you don't have like, I don't necessarily want to remember that 1 cow is worth
4 magic scrolls or something.
Then like I come back and it's like, then someone's like, oh, I'll trade you this cow for a house, and it's like, so 4 magic scrolls now equals a house, and it's like, no,
this inflation is crazy.
Whereas if it's just 4 gold pieces equals 4 magic scrolls, and then 100 gold pieces is a house, like that's, you still have that. It's now it's whatever it is, 25 magic scrolls is a house, whatever. If I was going to do a thing, that would, I think it would have to be the currency. It's the simplest to keep track of.
It doesn't even have to be that advanced to tell a story. I don't think a reader needs to say, well, how many silver pieces equals 1 gold, how
Yeah.
many copper pieces. It can just be as simple as 4 shillings.
Yeah.
And anytime there's a transaction or whatever,
Yeah.
here's your paycheck, you get a bag of gold. There's
Yeah.
like 25 gold pieces.
Yeah. And that, like, there's nothing to say that is even going to be like a major plot point.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of things,
Yeah.
millions of things out there where there's like, do a transaction and they just hand you some coin with no explanation.
Yeah.
So it all depends on really how deep we want to go with it.
Yeah. And that just, it allows for that. Is the transaction random assortment of coinage thrown, or is the transaction random item thrown?
I do like the idea of currency. I'm a currency boy. I like spending money.
Yeah. That being said, we talked about it during our last episode, I'm sure. We're both very bad at naming things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to shout out any names for currencies, feel free to do that here. We'll also probably put out a TikTok asking the same question. And yeah, feel free to leave it there, leave it here. Email us at takethatdepressionpod@gmail.com.
We would love to be community driven too, and just to know that like one of our fans is like, I did that, I named that currency, or things like that. So I'm sure down the road as we get the ball rolling, there'll be little things here and there. We'll ask for your guys' help. Yeah, I feel like
names, I think, is going to be a big one. Again, we talked about we're just not super great at it.
I don't know what it is, but I know it when I hear it.
Yes. So yeah, like names of the city, whatever. I'm sure we'll come back for stuff like that. And some of the major things we may want more of a hand in and want to create that ourselves. But yeah, that's the dream, is to come to you guys for help as much as we can, I think. Really have you guys drive some of the stuff. It is a very cool thing for you guys to get to say too.
You guys get excited about us getting excited about you getting excited to name some stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Back to the currency or barter for sure. If you have any ideas for names, definitely let us know. And yeah, I think paycheck, everything, like you said before we started recording, it just feels better to deal in money. And I think we're conditioned to feel that way because we deal in money. I think that, that is probably going to be the answer for this. I don't know.
It's something that we can talk about too, a little behind the scenes, but it could even be a form of both. Like currency is the thing, but if you're part of a guild, maybe it's the guild supplies. Like you don't need to, you're just living, they're supplying everything. It's not a paid thing. But if you need like new supplies from an armor or a weapon shop, the guild gives you, here's your currency to go.
Yeah. And that like potentially your pay is very low, but it's like your benefits, like you're saying, you're housed, you're fed, you're clothed with normal human clothing. And that might be a way that like some guilds keep their people down. Is like, we'll give you a little bit of money that you've earned so you can like go out and like have a drink on the weekends, but like that's it. You either need to like save it up for months to get a new sword, or you can unwind a little bit on the weekend and have 2 drinks.
Yeah, a way to keep the guild intact.
Yeah. That's another thing that you could do with money. You can kind of do the same thing with bartering, like if you just don't give them enough food unless they perform a certain way. But yeah, I think that currency really drives itself to that level of kind of chicanery that can come about with it. Yeah.
Lots to think about.
Yeah, I really like this project. Every question that we answer or attempt to answer, I feel like opens up 100 more questions of deeper, well, what does that mean in this context or for this group of people?
It's fun, and it's something we're passionate about. I won't lie, there's a bit of a challenge, I think, there, but that's half the fun is it's a challenge, but also it's exciting to crack that and come up with those answers. And
yes,
that's why I'm excited about this whole changeover to starting on this project. It's been fun. It's been a dream, and I'm excited to see how this takes shape. I don't think it's a matter of when. I think it's how it takes shape.
Yeah.
Or if, I should say, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's especially now that the podcast is here and it gives us 30 minutes at least, like before we start recording.
Yeah.
But at 30 minutes at least of uninterrupted talk time about Project CC, and I think we very much can benefit from this. I don't think that we needed it, but for this to be uninterrupted, because at work, it's any number of things can happen.
One
you can
of
get
us
pulled away.
in our respected jobs gets pulled away to something.
Yeah, it's we were riffing on something really cool there.
Don't forget that. I'll be back.
Write it down, tattoo it on your forehead. It's so easy for that to happen at work, but here it's 30 minutes, focus up, lock in, we're gonna talk about this thing. And that's a huge, huge blessing. And again, if one person listens to it, if one person contributes to the naming things, whatever, what a win for us. A cool thing for you to come along, show the support for this silly little dream that we have. Yeah. That's all I got. And that's all I have to say about that. That's Forrest Gump.
All I have to say about that.
All right. Then with that, we will wrap up this episode, let you guys get back to your day. Do all of the algorithm things anywhere you can. If you want to support us, we'd love that. Every comment, every like, any subscription, any whatever, follow, wherever you can, is a huge boon for us.
I'm running up to Kyler every time or sending a message. Did you see we got a comment on the thing? Someone liked our post.
It's definitely super fun. Anytime you guys interact with it's a very fun. It's that dopamine rush of just somebody is interacting with something I made. Very, very cool feeling. And
good comments, bad comments, any action. Interaction is good interaction, and we're here for it all. Hopefully good, but we'll take them as it comes.
Yeah, I'm our in-house mean comment replier. I'll take that in stride, and we'll go from there. So
I'm too sensitive for that, so I forward it to our chief executive.
I was professionally yelled at for 5.5 years, so I can take it. We really appreciate you guys if you made it to this point. Rock stars. We could not be here without you. We really appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for next week for more Project CC. Hopefully we have so much more to talk about. Every little crumb that we can give out makes me feel very excited for the project as a whole. But as we always love to say, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.